All right, now for the main event. Creep, it came out in 2015 and instantly became a cult classic that spawned a sequel film and a series. I read that you and Mark Duplass came up with the idea together, just after a series of conversations. Can you give us some details about how it all came together?
Sure. Yeah. We were talking of we were talking about making a movie. I was coming out of school. Mark was kind of mentoring me, like sort of being someone that was just sort of like a sounding board to bounce ideas off of. He had added his name to my thesis film as a producer just to like help me get into film festivals and stuff like that. But this was a film that it was not a narrative film; it was a documentary. But he dug it, and I think saw a shared sensibility in me and shared sense of humor, and
Right.
it was in those conversations that we basically were like, what's a way that we can make a movie together that wouldn't have a crew at all, that would have no that we wouldn't have anyone telling us what to do at all. And sort of it was out of that we came up with this concept of this videographer being hired to film this guy who was supposedly dying of cancer, and then slowly learning that he's lying and that he's actually a disturbed individual, and like how to toe that line, And so what was really cool about that was I don't think I knew uh, what I was doing to the point that I didn't I wasn't like stopping myself because something didn't work in the moment. There was always this, oh, we'll figure it out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so I think because of that, sort of, I don't know, it meant I wasn't afraid to just try things out. And I think because it was just me and Mark, and because it was improvised, we could sort of play in this way. It almost felt like um, improv theater, but we were filming it. You know what I
Right.
mean? And so we were able to then go back and watch things and then hone in on ideas and that's not working, so let's cut that out, or let's make a point on this one thing that was mentioned, or this one look that was given in this one scene. And I think it was a very safe environment to be able to do that with, because we didn't really know each other that well at the time, but there was a mutual trust there. I was just a film school graduate, and he was, this sort of like Sundance darling whose movies I hadn't really seen before. I'd seen Baghead, but I hadn't really seen any of his other stuff. And so to be able to do that with somebody who was like really good at improvisation and following his instincts there, I'm just eternally, just sort of thankful for, because I think it was not only a way for us to do this project together, but it was a way for me to like learn by trial and error
Right.
how to make something and how to like craft something that's not perfect from the jump. You know what I mean? I think what would have probably tripped me up as a filmmaker in a big way had I not met Mark is like the need to, or the feeling of needing to like make a perfect movie or a perfect product like right out of the gate. And there were so many terrible cuts of Creep before the final one that I had to like sit through and show to people and get notes on and beat my head against a wall figuring out what's the solution for this problem that we're having. And if I hadn't have gone through that process, it wouldn't have prepared me for making movies on a much bigger scale, for sure.
Right.
And it would have been less hard to like trust the process and trust the parts of the process that don't work and that don't feel good, because most of it actually doesn't feel good.
Okay.
I mean, I've sort of painted myself into a corner in that this is all I want to do and this is all I know how to do, so I have to keep doing it. But a lot of it's really painful, and you have definitely those moments where you're like, oh, this is the right line this person should say, or this is the actor we should cast in this movie, or this is the cut that should happen, or this is the song that we should put here, or whatever. But like, uh, most of it is, oh, I can't do this because of this, you know,
Right.
or this thing that I saw in my head is not translating to either the page, or it's not translating from the page to the screen. And so, you know, it's a wild thing to be doing with our
Right.
lives. And so I'm very grateful to have Creep, which is like, once again, just like this pure back to basics way of making things that we have kept going forward with the sequel and with the show. You know, we shoot the show on the same camera that we shot the first movie on.
Oh wow.
And we sort of craft each of those episodes almost as mini versions of the first movie, where we'll come up with an idea that we can shoot in an Airbnb with an actor or two, and then go from there with it. And you know, because this character is sort of this like onion of a insane person, that
Right.
has these, like, crazy layers to him, we can just pick one or two to explore with each episode, and go from there.